I think it's really important that students understand both the professors are normal people. We have normal lives just like everybody else. I always thought my professors were just, I don't know, I just thought all they did was teach and stuff, and I was incredibly afraid of them. And so I think it's really important that students know that we can be more than just someone that's in the classroom. And I love my job. My favorite part of the job is actually, it's sometimes before class or after class, or walking back to my office with students, or catching lunch or coffee, and just asking the open-ended questions like, so how's it going? How's your semester going? Because it's then when you get the real stuff that students are faced with, and they're faced with a lot. I've been blown away when I hear the hurdles that people are trying to navigate while getting their degree. When they give me an opportunity to know who they are, I think it's important that professors, people on campus, they give back. They disclose, they talk about what's going on for them and what their journey included. Because that's when the real, when all of that kind of interpersonal stuff calms down, or the hierarchy and all that kind of goes away, then the real learning can happen. You know what inspires me is, this actually happened yesterday in my class, but I'm thinking about a student who a couple weeks ago, she's dealing with so much, right? And actually a family member is not doing well. They have hospice involved and so forth. And I've had her in a class before, and she came to me and she's having a hard time, keeping up with the assignments and so forth. But she came to me at the end of class and said, I'm going to turn it in, I'm going to turn it in. And I said, okay. And I said, just that simple question, how are you doing? That's all I asked. And then the tears just started pouring out, and she approached me, she says, I'm so sorry that I just broke down like that. And it was really interesting because I said, why? Why would you want to apologize? And she says, well, I'm just trying to keep it all together. And I said, but you're being real with people. And I said, please don't apologize. And and I understand where she's coming from. It's really hard, when you just feel like you're, crying everywhere you're going and so forth. But I think that's what inspires me, is I took that as such an honor that she feels comfortable enough to be vulnerable and be real in my presence. That's the ultimate gift, I think, is when students take risks. I was never a straight-A student, and I struggled all through elementary school. My reading comprehension was horrible. I couldn't even believe that I got into college. I wasn't one of those students that was like, oh, of course I'm going to go to college. I had no idea what was going to happen to me. And I never thought that I would get my PhD ever in a million years. I was always B's and C's were always on my report cards, and I struggled to get those grades. And I think the effort that it takes when you're trying to get, oh, I got a C in that class, or oh, I got a B in that class, helps develop some academic skills that are then later great for graduate school. Life is crazy because you think that you're heading down one path, and then all of a sudden you have a detour, right? So my whole life I thought, I'm going to be a teacher, an elementary school teacher. I'm going to teach second grade. I had it all planned out the rest of my life until I did an internship, and I was in a second grade classroom, and I thought, I can't do this. This is not going to work for me. I can maybe do it for a little while, but I know if I am working in the schools with young children, I'm going to leave soon. So then I became so confused. And because when you think you have the rest of your life figured out, and doesn't turn out the way you think it is. It's really scary. And now I didn't know what to major in. I was a lost soul. And then I even changed schools. I transferred to another university, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And so then I just decided to major in communications, which was great. I loved that. But I just know, I mean, like a lot of our students, I thought, I love kids. So if I'm not going to be a teacher, how's this going to unfold? And then I started doing research, and I started realizing you can still love kids and you can research them, and this is so much more fun because you get to ask them really interesting questions like, what were you thinking when you did that? Why did you hit them? Or why did you walk that way? Or why did you give that other kid that dirty look? And that's actually really interesting to me. So I discovered this whole area of researching kids, which is just really asking questions. And so I got involved in doing research with professors when I was in college, and I realized, I could still be a teacher. I could teach college. And then that's when, because I loved doing research and asking questions and finding answers, I realized, okay, I could still. So it was really fun because what I thought was get off track, but it actually ended up being the perfect detour. Again, just in my class yesterday, we were talking about a concept, a framework of discipline, and I saw, just like you were describing, students change right before my eyes in the matter of 15 minutes. The student was saying, I don't agree with this perspective, and then by the end of the class they were raising their hand. They said, okay, well, when I first thought about this, but now I could see why other people would agree with whatever that viewpoint is. And so that, to me, that says, oh, there's something that's happening in the class where they feel comfortable to change their minds. They can be enthusiastic about an idea, but they can step back and say, oh, I do see it from a different perspective, and I respect that perspective. Because isn't that what life is all about?